Kitchener-Waterloo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Premier. Last week, Statistics Canada released their long-term perspective on the youth labour market. It shows that young Ontarians are less likely to be employed full-time than they were in the 1980s. If they can find work, it is often precarious work. It is increasingly difficult for the young people of this province to establish themselves. Life is becoming more unaffordable, costs are going up, and wages are staying flat. When is the government going to wake up to the realities facing young people and make the changes that will allow them to stay and prosper right here in the province of Ontario?
Minister of Economic Development and Growth.
Minister of Economic Development and Growth.
Mr. Speaker, this government cares deeply about the challenges of young people finding their way into the workplace. That's why we're leaders globally when it comes to creating experiential learning experiences for those young people. Why we're leaders, and she would know this being from the Waterloo area, in leading co-op programs. And that's why, Mr. Speaker, we came forward with a youth employment strategy that's provided 30,000 plus young people with an opportunity to work. That being said, there are still challenges, but, Mr. Speaker, we can't ignore the fact that just last week we saw that our unemployment rate in Ontario has dropped to the lowest level in 8.5 years, the lowest level since May of 2008, 6.3%, Mr. Speaker. That's something that we can be proud of as Ontarians, something all of us can take advantage of. At the same time, we're going to work to get that unemployment down even lower, so more and more of those young folks will have opportunities in the future.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Back to the Premier. Young Ontarians right across the province are hurting. They are leaving school and not finding work. The youth unemployment rate is higher than 30% in Barrie, 17% in Hamilton, 16% in London. To make matters worse, wages are actually declining. According to the Stats Canada, young full-time employees are making less today than they were in the 1980s. Mr. Speaker, the numbers don't lie. Premier, it's getting harder to live in Ontario and build a good life for young people of this province. Will the Premier admit that the status quo isn't working and take an important step by raising the minimum wage to $15?
Thank you. Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we're going to continue to build this province up. We're going to continue to invest in infrastructure. We're going to continue to ensure that we can grow this economy. We've seen 660,000 net new jobs created since the global recession. 3/4 of those are in the private sector. 76% of those.
Member from Niagara Falls.
76% of those 660,000 jobs created since 2003, Mr. Speaker, 76% earn above-average wages. 90% are full-time jobs. 90%, Mr. Speaker. Those are good jobs. Those are jobs, Mr. Speaker, that our young people will have for many generations to come. We've still got work to do. The unemployment rate for youth is still higher than we'd like. There still are some people being left behind. Our job now is to ensure that they also share in the prosperity of this growing economy.
Thank you.